relationship struggles, emotional distress. I asked my boyfriend his thoughts on an open relationship, and he broke up with me. How can I fix this? First off, let me start by saying that our age gap is not the issue here. My boyfriend is the best thing to happen to me in my adult life because of his age, not despite it. Over the 2 years we've been together, I've grown so much as a person, thanks, in large part, to his gentle love and overwhelming support. None of my friends in long-term relationships have anything like what my boyfriend and I have, and they all say they wish they did. Also, he's more attractive and in better shape than all their boyfriends. So if your first reaction to this situation is that some dirty old man is taking advantage of a young, naive girl, then you're wrong. And for the record, I was the one who asked him out first. I'm sorry if that comes across as defensive, but that seems to be the first reaction to our relationship by anyone who doesn't know us. We are both nurses. He is an administrative supervisor at my company. He trained me my first 2 weeks on the job, and we hit it off because we both love to work out and have a lot of things in common. Nothing happened then, but I just couldn't stop thinking about him. So after about a month, I stopped by his office after work and asked him out for coffee. 6 months later, I moved in with him. That first year was the best time I've ever had in a relationship. We traveled, ate out, and went to shows and movies. He taught me so much about life. He would really engage with me and listen to what I had to say. He also wasn't afraid to ask me those really tough questions that made me look at situations from another perspective. He taught me how to stand up for myself and how to resolve conflict. The more time we spent together, the more I loved him. Then the lockdown happened. My boyfriend is not perfect. The major problem is that he is a mismanager when it comes to work and a workaholic. As soon as lockdown started, he started working non-stop. Sometimes he would work 14 to 16 hours a day. From the end of April to the second week in June, he worked 36 days straight. He would come home, kiss me, work out, shower, and go to bed, just to get up the next morning and do it all over again. No one asks him to work like that, he just does. He says, I have to be an advocate for our patients and make sure they're safe and taken care of. I won't lie, I got really lonely during this time. I talked to him about it, and he cut back some. He even started doing silly things like ordering cheesy decorations online, then decorating our dining room like a Chinese restaurant, and ordering takeout from our favorite Chinese place so it would feel like we went out. It was fun and nice, but I was still lonely. Around this time, an old friend from high school contacted me through Facebook. We started talking first on IM, then we started texting. He was really there for me, and he showed me a lot of attention. After a while, he asked if I wanted to meet up for drinks. I said yes, since my boyfriend wasn't home. I ended up drinking more than I usually do. Before I knew it, we were kissing. I'm not going to lie, it felt really good. I did allow it to go too far, but I stopped it before we had sex. I left and went home. I felt awful, not because I did it but because I did it behind my boyfriend's back. The next day, I asked my boyfriend if we could talk. I started out by telling him how lonely I felt for the past few months, and how I wanted to ask his thoughts on an open relationship. He was actually really receptive. He sat down with me and asked several questions about our relationship and how strong I thought it was. He listened as I explained that I loved him but needed attention that he couldn't provide right now. I wanted him, but I didn't feel like my needs were being met, and this would be an easy and safe way for me to get the attention I've been missing. He asked what brought this on, and I explained about my friend and how I wasn't interested in a relationship with him, but I would like to go out with him just for some distraction from everything going on. He sat there for several minutes, and that's when I saw the hurt in his eyes. It wasn't until that moment that I realized how selfish I had been. It was like someone poured ice water over me. I had not once thought about him in this entire situation. But before I could say a word, he said, "You need to leave." I tried to talk more, but he said he was not in a place emotionally to communicate with me effectively, and that I needed to give him space. I just broke down, crying. I had messed it all up and hadn't even realized it until that moment. He left after that and asked me to leave before he got back. About 2 hours later, I got a text from him saying that we needed some time apart, and he didn't feel like we needed to be in a relationship right now. That was 2 days ago. I'm at my parents' house now, and I can't eat or sleep. I'm a wreck. I know I'm a dumbass and a horrible person. But please, if you have any advice on how to fix this, please help. I am literally making myself sick over this, and I have no clue what to even say to him. In the comments, Weasley J. So you cheated and didn't tell him. So you brought up the prospect of an open relationship so you can sleep with your friend and have it be okay. But are you still keeping what happened a secret? Then, when he found out you were thinking of an open relationship just so you could bang your friend, he got mad. The only part that makes sense is him getting mad. You messed up long before that part though. OOP. In that moment with my friend, I swear I didn't see it as cheating. I really did think that what I was doing was right until I saw the look in my BF's eyes and realized I hadn't thought about my BF or his feelings once the entire time I had been talking to my friend. I'm disgusted with myself. Is there any way to approach this with my boyfriend to help him forgive me? CCAT59. This is actually related to the age difference, not to the difference in years but to the difference in maturity level. You had a wonderful relationship with an equally wonderful man, but you were not able to be an adult when things got tough, so you cheated because he didn't give you enough attention. That's the stupidest excuse for cheating I've ever heard. Basically, as long as things were going your way, you were happy. But as soon as things got a little tough, you cheated. He was working, not out partying with friends or sitting on a computer playing games all day, ignoring you. Working during this pandemic to provide you with stability and a warm, loving home. And instead of acting like an adult in a mature, loving relationship and supporting him, you cheated. And not only that, you stayed. I felt awful, not because I did it but because I did it behind my boyfriend's back. Your guilt should lie in the fact that you even considered it, and then followed through with it. You're too immature and self-centered to even understand the real problem. Yeah, you messed up, majorly. And you are an immature idiot. He deserves better than you. Learn from this, try to really look at this, figure out why you're so self-centered, and understand exactly what it means to commit yourself to one person and one relationship. But for goodness sake, leave him alone. He's seen you for what and who you actually are. Move on. OOP. This is actually very helpful. You are right, I need to figure out what allowed me to block any consideration for my boyfriend out of my mind when it came to talking to my friend. I thought that there was nothing wrong with my actions. I didn't even see it as cheating. I have really messed up here. OOP. One thing that I didn't say in the original post, because I didn't know if it was relevant, is that he is actually a widower. That's why he is single at 41. He was married for 10 years, then his wife passed away 3 years ago. Update. It's been over a week, and some people asked for an update, so here goes. He called last Tuesday and said he wanted to talk. I was both scared and over the moon because I took the advice so many people here gave me to give him space. We hadn't talked since Saturday, and I missed him like mad. He says he wants to meet at my parents' house, and I agreed, although I thought that was a little weird. When he pulled into the driveway, he sent me a text asking me to come outside. I went out to meet him, and he was standing in front of his car. I immediately saw that he had someone in the car with him, and I just broke down. I knew what was coming, and I didn't want to face it. He was so kind. He comforted me and helped me up on the porch, where we both sat on the steps. I can't quote what was said, so this is paraphrased. He loved me, but my actions proved to him that we were in two different places in our lives, and he wasn't going to hold me back anymore. He said he knew I needed to live more and enjoy life before settling down. He apologized for holding me back for so long and thanked me for his best 2 years since his wife had passed away. I wanted to lay down on the ground and unalive right there. I just sobbed. That was all I could do. My dad finally came out and helped me back into the house. My dad then went back out and talked to my boyfriend. They talked for a while. I don't really remember how long because I was near hysterical at that point. My mom gave me something to help me relax. When my father came back in, he whispered something to my mom, and she helped me upstairs to my room. I laid there for a while until I heard someone pull into the dive. I looked out and saw that a moving truck had backed in. He had all my belongings packed up and delivered to my parents' house. That's when I really lost all control of myself. I was crying so hard that I didn't feel like I was in control of my own body anymore. My mom ended up sleeping in my room with me all night. In the past 3 days, I have been out of bed probably less than 10 times, and that was just to use the bathroom. I'm lost, and worse than that, I lost him. But I was finally able to eat today, so I figured I would give you all a look at the end of my world. So yes, Reddit, you were right, and he left me. You were right that I'm a horrible person, and I deserved this. But it still hurts really bad. Thank you for watching the video.